office. So.
Streamlabs desktop alert. Streamlabs desktop document. Button end screen. Alert.
Oh, it says in streams. We'll see if it actually.
Yeah, you need to be on stream starting soon because you're on your face.
I thought I had already gone there.
Preview edit. Preview edit. Preview edit. Clickable. Clickable on microphone.
Oh, okay.
Clickable. 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 Sources.
You're not in the right
Clickable.
section.
Clickable. Edit left. Clickable. 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 There are no ends to display.
Yeah, that's why I said you gotta make sure you're on that before you.
Clickable stream starting soon.
The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. at Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blind.
Thank you for tuning in to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service. Our broadcasts are available live on YouTube from Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and on demand via the Audio Reader Network at www.reader.ku.edu. Access options include Amazon Alexa, mobile app, and radio via KSMU radio at 91.1 FM, 67 Hz subcarrier from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. Contact the Audio Reader Network for audio receivers.
Missouri State granted eligibility to play first bowl game in CUSA era. Written by Claudette Riley for the Springfield News-Leader. Missouri State has officially earned a spot in a bowl game. At the end of the college football regular season, November 29th, bowl season, which coordinates the NCAA's Football Bowl subdivision's 82 postseason teams, announced the eligibility. The Bears finished the season with a 7-5 record under head coach Ryan Beard, who served as the defensive coordinator for Missouri State before moving into the top job in 2022. In mid-November, athletic director Patrick Ransdell announced Missouri State was petitioning the NCAA for a postseason waiver to participate in a bowl game. Because of MSU's recent transition to Conference USA, they were ineligible for postseason play under NCAA rules. Missouri lawmakers, including U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt and U.S. Representative Eric Burleson, added their support, calling on the NCAA to grant the waiver request. The university has done everything asked of it and more. Its student athletes have earned their place on the field and a chance to compete in the postseason through performance, not administrative technicalities, Schmidt wrote in part. The NCAA must not deny these student athletes the postseason opportunity they have earned based on an arbitrary, outdated regulation that no longer reflects the current realities. I strongly urge the NCAA to approve Missouri State University's waiver request and allow these student athletes to compete for the postseason recognition their hard work and on-field success have earned. Burleson added, with 82 postseason slots available this season, Missouri State University deserves equal consideration. These student athletes have earned their opportunity on the field and should not be sidelined by an outdated rule alone. The NCAA waivers have been granted in the past. In addition to Missouri State, fellow Conference USA newcomer Delaware was also granted eligibility. Bowl pairings, dates, and locations will be announced at a later date. The official bowl season selection show is Sunday, December 7th. Missouri State fans who are interested in attending the bowl game can fill out an intent form to obtain ticket information as soon as a bowl destination is known. In their inaugural season in Conference USA and the FBS ranks, the Bears are 7-5 overall and finished 5-3 in the CUSA standings to tie for fourth place in the 12-team league.
Answer Man, what's going on at former Walgreens at Grand and Kansas Expressway? The Jordan Valley Community Health Center bought the former Walgreens, which closed in February, in August, and will remodel the 14,094 square foot for its elderly care program. The building is at 1930 West Grand Street, and the service is called the Program of All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly, or PACE. The elderly care program currently is in space at the Health Centers Clinic across Kansas Expressway at 1720 West Grand Street, the site of a former price cutter which closed in 2015. It has 50,466 square feet. The health center expects to open the former Walgreens building in the middle of 2026, says Ryan Kruger, Vice President of Operations for the Jordan Valley Community Health Center. We're going to remodel the PACE space at 1720 West Grand to help us support our pediatric dental residency program that we're starting, he says. To qualify for the PACE program, you must be 55 or older, certified to need nursing home care, and live in the Jordan Valley Senior Care Services area. You must also be able to live safely in the community with the assistance of Jordan Valley Senior Care Services at the time of enrollment.
The following are obituaries starting on Monday, December 1st. Mary Ann Beck from Republic, Missouri, 85, passed away November 28, 2025. Arrangements provided by Herman H. Lohmeyer Funeral Home. Services on December 6th, 10:30 a.m. at St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic Church. Herman H. Lohmeyer Funeral Home. Saturday, November 29, 2025. Elizabeth Ruth Roberts, age 100, Springfield, Missouri. Elizabeth Ruth Roberts passed away on Sunday, November 23, 2025. She is survived by daughters Charity Ann Willis Carl of Rochester, Minnesota, and Mary Elizabeth Manholzer Mark of Shoreline, Washington. Son Charles Huck Cornell Roberts. Friday, November 28, 2025. Roger McFadden, age 83, Lakeland, Florida. Roger McFadden, 83, of Lakeland, Florida, died on November 20th, 2025. Gentry Morrison Funeral Home. Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. Janet K. Brown, age 89, Springfield, Missouri. Janet K. Waller Brown was born in St. Joseph, Missouri on November 15th, 1936, the daughter of Forrest and Eloise Kelly Waller. She was raised on a farm south of St. Joseph. Gorman Sharp Funeral Home. Judy Evans, Aldrich, Missouri, 76, passed away November 21st, 2025. Arrangements provided by Green Lawn Funeral Home North. Services on November 28th, 1:30 p.m. at Green Lawn Funeral Home North. Udemia Cemetery, Lackey, Missouri, Green Lawn Funeral Home North. John Jackson, Springfield, Missouri, 72, passed away November 23rd, 2025. Arrangements provided by Green Lawn Funeral Home. Services on December 16th, 11 a.m. at Missouri Veterans Cemetery. Green Lawn Funeral Home. Karen Lee Kistler Smith, age 83, Springfield, Missouri. Karen Lee Kistler Smith passed away in her home on Saturday, November 22nd. Born to Mildred Christian Kistler and Raymond C. Kistler in Ritchie, Missouri on August 3, 1942. Green Lawn Funeral Home North. Reverend John Ballantyne Steinberg, age 93, Springfield, Missouri. John Ballantyne Steinberg was born on May 14, 1932, to Harvey August Steinberg and Mary Jane Ballantyne Steinberg in New London, Wisconsin. He was raised in New London until third grade when the family moved. Monday, November 24, 2025. Dixie Ray Needham, age 94, Springfield, Missouri. Dixie Ray Needham, 94, Springfield, Missouri, passed away on Monday, November 24, 2025, at Mercy Hospital. She was born September 6, 1931, in Scotia, Nebraska, to Ray and Orville Pearl Chadwick Morrow. Gorman Sharp Funeral Home. Jana Owen, age 62, Springfield, Missouri. Jana Owen passed away at her home on November 5, 2025. She was beloved by her many friends around the globe and the many students she mentored as a professor at MSU, OTC, and Drury. Saturday, November 22nd, 2025. Robert Mark Pike, age 64, Springfield, Missouri. Robert Mark Pike, 64, Springfield, Missouri, passed away peacefully in his sleep at home on November 20th, 2025. Born on March 14, 1961, Robert shared a special birthday bond with his daughter, Presley Ann. Friday, November 21st, 2025, Edwin Eddie Lou Morris Jr., Springfield, Missouri, 77, passed away November 19th, 2025. Arrangements provided by Green Lawn Funeral Home East. Services on January 29th, 1 p.m. at First Baptist Church, Springfield, Missouri, Green Lawn Funeral Home East. Thursday, November 20th, 2025, Dale Pierce, age 91, Springfield, Missouri. Dale V. Pierce, age 91 of Springfield, Missouri, passed peacefully on November 14th after a lengthy illness. Dale was born in Niangua, Missouri, to Eunice Massey Pierce and Earl Pierce, Gorman Sharp Funeral Home. Wednesday, November 19th, 2025, Clifford K. Johnson, age 92, Springfield, Missouri. Clifford K. Johnson, 92, passed away Friday, November 7th, 2025, at the Missouri Veterans Home, Mount Vernon. He was born February 23, 1933, to Clifford and Carolyn Roach Johnson in Grays Lake Village, Illinois, Garment Sharp Funeral Home. David Snyder, age 88, Springfield, Missouri. David Gene Snyder of Nixa, Missouri, passed away on November 18, 2025. He was born in Kansas City, Missouri on October 10, 1937, to Chester and Joan Snyder. He graduated from Shawnee Mission High School, Gorman Sharp Funeral Home. Tuesday, November 18, 2025, Timothy D. Arndt, Republic, Missouri, 67, passed away November 15, 2025. Arrangements provided by Gorman Sharp Funeral Home, Incorporated. Services on November 22nd, 2 p.m. at Gorman Sharp Funeral Home. Okay. Lizelle Swenson Atkinson, age 103 in Springfield, Missouri. Obituary for Lizelle Swenson Atkinson. She died on November 14, 2025, just shy of 104 years old in Springfield, Missouri, where she resided most of her life. Carol Bound, Springfield, Missouri, 81, passed away November 16, 2025. Arrangements provided by Green Lawn Funeral Home North services on November 21st, 2 p.m. at Rivermont Memorial Gardens, Green Lawn Funeral Home North. Monday, November 17, 2025. Vera Erna Barrett, age 92, Lebanon, Missouri. Vera Vicky Erna Barrett was born in Chicago, Illinois on January 8, 1933 to August Bush and Frida Drockner Bush. She passed away on November 14, 2025 at the Arbor's Memory Care in Lebanon, Missouri. Saturday, November 15, 2025, Sonny Perouse, age 79, Russellville, Arkansas. Sonny Perouse, age 79 of Russellville, Arkansas, passed away peacefully on Friday, November 14, 2025, at St. Mary's Regional Medical Center. He was born August 29, 1946, in Marquette, Michigan, to Louis and Mary Margaret.
All right. The Kitchen Inc. receives the largest gift in the nonprofit's history, $2.5 million granted from the Bezos Fund. Malia Spencer, Chief Executive Officer of the Kitchen, said that the grant opportunity was invitation only. She submitted the application a few months ago under strict confidentiality. The Kitchen Inc. is a Springfield nonprofit that works to end homelessness, is being awarded a $2.5 million grant from the Day One Families Fund, a nonprofit created by Amazon's Jeff Bezos and his wife Lauren Sanchez Bezos. The Kitchen Inc. provides shelter, housing, and wraparound services to families and individuals experiencing homelessness in Southwest Missouri. Malia Spencer, Chief Executive Officer of the Kitchen, said the grant opportunity was invitation only and she submitted the application a few months ago under strict confidentiality. Spencer and her team learned on Monday, December 1st that the Kitchen was awarded the grant, which is the largest gift in the nonprofit's history. The Kitchen Inc. is part of the 8th annual cohort of organizations across the country receiving funding from the Day One Families Fund to deepen their work to help every family have a safe, stable place to call home. This incredible investment will strengthen our ability to bring stability and purpose to families who have nowhere else to turn, Spencer said in a news release. It comes at a pivotal time as we face rising costs and shifts in federal funding. This support ensures we can sustain and grow the work that Sister Lorraine envisioned 42 years ago, helping us fulfill our promise to ensure every child and family in our community has a safe and stable place to call home. The Kitchen Inc. will use its Day One Families Fund grant to serve even more families experiencing homelessness in Springfield/Greene County as well as Christian and Webster counties, with the goal of ensuring no child in our community sleeps outside, according to the release. Specifically, the Kitchen Inc. plans to use this one-time grant over the next 5 years to stabilize families through its new shelter expansion with dignified private units, strengthen family-focused case management, and enhanced on-site support, allowing more families to move from crisis to permanent housing more quickly. The Kitchen Inc. was identified to receive this grant by a group of national advisors who are leading advocates and bring expertise on homelessness, housing policy, and effective approaches to and solutions to family homelessness, the release said. This grant enhances every part of our work: outreach, shelter, housing, and supportive services, George Bufford Stark, Chief Operating Officer of the Kitchen Inc., said in the release. It allows us to work more efficiently, expand our capacity, and remove barriers so families can reach safe, stable housing sooner. According to the release, the Day One Families Fund has awarded 280 grants totaling more than $850 million to organizations serving families in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and Guam since the fund was created in 2018.
Inside North Star Christmas Company. On historic Commercial Street in Springfield, Missouri, you can find an eclectic Christmas store dedicated to all things merry and bright by Alyssa Roney, December 2025. Have you ever heard of a bull in a china shop? On Commercial Street, you can find a much sweeter version, a bulldog in an ornament shop. Miss Peppermint Piggy Patty is a 4-year-old English bulldog and part-time security guard at North Star Christmas Company, a year-round Christmas store based in Springfield. To North Star's owner and operator, Jennifer Bess Baker, Piggy was a Christmas gift of sorts. She adopted her at Christmas time. As you peruse the quaint shop located across the street from La Rue Bistro, you might become lost in a forest of Christmas trees while a warm cinnamon smell wafts through the space to the sound of Mili Kalikimaka. Each tree incorporates its own distinct aesthetic, the handiwork of Bess Baker and her family. During other holiday seasons, including St. Patrick's Day and Mother's Day, some plastic evergreen trees take on a completely different seasonal character. This passion for festivity started well before Bess Baker opened North Star alongside her husband, Derek Baker, earlier this year. She said that they have always gone all out for celebrations, something that was important when she and Baker discussed their family plans. My husband and I both grew up in homes with great parents, but homes where they did not decorate, Bess Baker says. My parents were just not holiday people, and neither are his parents. They're not birthday people. It's a very regular kind of day for them. When Bess Baker and her husband got together and ultimately decided to get married, they talked through what their future might look like at home. They knew they wanted celebrations like birthdays and Christmas to feel extra special. The couple's Christmas collection grew so big that they started a business, first selling online, then later in antique mall booths, including relics. Around the same time, Baker began installing Christmas lights for customers, a service the shop still offers alongside Christmas tree decorations. The move to a storefront was a natural progression as their demand increased. Bess Baker describes the couple's business as a side hustle, as the two currently work in government and are set to retire in 2027. We just want to give back to our community, she says. We have very stressful jobs, both my husband and I. This is the exact opposite of that. While Branson has its own array of Christmas shops, Bess Baker says what differentiates North Star is her Springfield-specific ornaments, often purchased as souvenirs, as well as her personal connection with customers. We try to give really individualized customer service, she says, especially me, because I'm a chatty person. To Bess Baker, the store prioritizes the magic of Christmas all year, something she defines as the feeling of giving and caring and loving. Some of the most endearing aspects of North Star Christmas Company are its Christmas elves, that is, the baker's children. They are often hard at work around the store, greeting customers and working the cash register. Some of these children were adopted through the foster care system. Bess Baker says their experiences reinvigorated her passion for festivity. She estimates that about 20 kids have passed through her home over the past 6 years, and she has made sure to go all out for holidays and birthdays. I truly enjoy bringing kids into the home and letting them experience an over-the-top Christmas because it may be the only one that they ever have, she says. In her brick-and-mortar store on C Street, she is helping spread this whimsy. In fact, she and her husband hand-selected the store's location because of the street's character. She wanted a Christmas store and not a mall store. C Street, Bess Baker says, is also a metaphor for her marriage. The street's mixture of historic architecture with eclectic shops matches her husband's traditional nature and her love of unique items. Items like the ornament of Michelangelo's David in red bikini trunks or the chrome Buddha. In the future, Bess Baker hopes to keep the business in the family. In particular, she sees her 15-year-old daughter Paige taking over, citing her entrepreneurial spirit. She has shown a true initiative to want to have a business, she says. Could that mean there will be a changing of the guard dogs when it's time for Peggy to enjoy her retirement?
The health department put Springfield restaurant on risk control plan for unsafe temperatures. A Springfield fast food restaurant was put on a risk control plan this past week after repeatedly having issues with the cooler not keeping perishable food items cold enough, according to a November 13th inspection report from the Springfield Greene County Health Department. Brahms Ice Cream, 1401 West Sunshine Street, had shake milk at 48 degrees, chocolate milk at 50 degrees, and eggnog at 50 degrees in its under-counter cooler, according to the November 13th report. This was the third instance in a row of items being kept too warm, the report said. The person in charge started the process to defrost the cooler. When the restaurant also had a second cooler at unsafe temperatures, which will not be used to store hazardous food items until it is able to maintain a temperature of 41 degrees or less. The risk control plan is meant to address the cooler's temperature being at 48 degrees Fahrenheit and the food inside at even higher temperatures. A risk control plan identifies the risk associated with the violation, what needs to happen to keep food safe, and how an establishment can accomplish that goal. Food that is between 41 degrees and 135 degrees is what the United States Department of Agriculture calls the danger zone, meaning bacteria can grow quickly to levels that cause illness. Issues found during the inspection fall into either priority or non-priority violations. Priority violations impact the safety of the food, such as cross-contamination between raw and ready-to-eat food, improper food temperature, and poor personal hygiene and employee health. Multiple priority violations can lead to an establishment being shut down. Non-priority violations alone do not directly affect food safety, such as dirty floors, sticky tabletops, or outside trash cans not being covered. Food inspections take place 1 to 3 times a year, depending on the type of food served, the population served, difficulty of food preparation, and past history. Restaurants preparing food from raw ingredients are inspected more often than convenience stores that serve only non-potentially hazardous foods, such as popcorn and soda, according to the Springfield Greene County Health Department. Each report identifies what was happening at the establishment at that time. Consumers who want to know whether a violation is a one-time thing or a pattern are encouraged to refer to previous reports.
We are currently broadcasting live from Blind Community Thrift Store, situated at 2713 North Kansas Expressway in Springfield, Missouri. For additional information about our store, please visit our official website at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. To explore more of our video content, including movie reviews with Matt and Meredith, adaptive technology training videos, and other informative material, please visit our YouTube channel by searching for Blind Community Thrift Store. Our organization is dedicated to supporting the blind community through various initiatives, and our online platforms serve as valuable resources for community engagement and education. 417 Magazine has the top doctors in Southwest Missouri. The annual top doctors list features winning physicians in medical and surgical specialties throughout Southwest Missouri, selected by their peers in the local medical community who voted for them in our top doctors survey.
Springfield man's death at Arkansas campground ruled an animal mauling, likely bear attack. A 60-year-old man from Springfield was found dead in an Arkansas campground Thursday, October 2nd. An autopsy has confirmed the man was killed from an animal mauling. While law enforcement suspect it was a bear attack, additional tests are pending to confirm this. On Thursday, Newton County Sheriff's Office in Arkansas received a call of a welfare concern at Sam's Throne near Mount Judea. The call comes from the camper's son, who had not heard from his father in a couple days, according to a news release from the sheriff's office. The camper's campsite was found disturbed upon a deputy's arrival, with evidence of a struggle and injury, though the man was not in his camp. According to the release, there were also drag marks leading from the campground into the woods. The man was found dead several yards outside the campsite. Investigators had received information from the family that he had sent photos of a bear in his camp Tuesday morning, September 30th. The extensive injuries found on the man were consistent with those expected from a large carnivore attack, according to investigators. Newton County Sheriff Glenn Wheeler confirmed to the News-Leader on Friday, October 3rd, that the man was from Springfield. He had been camping since Monday, September 29th, and was expected to return Friday. Efforts are underway to locate the bear, with Wheeler contacting local hunters who have dogs used to hunt bears. Based on the photos, the bear appeared to be a young male. We are attempting to find the bear and dispose of it so the Game and Fish Commission can test it for anything that may have led to the encounter. We know without a doubt that the bear was in camp with our victim, and the injuries absolutely are consistent with a bear attack, the sheriff said in a release. This is a highly unusual case. History tells us that once a bear becomes predatory, it often continues those behaviors. In a new news release, Friday, October 3rd, around 4:20 p.m., the sheriff's office confirmed the death was ruled an animal mauling. However, the Arkansas State Crime Lab could not completely confirm whether it was a bear until DNA samples are confirmed. Sam's Throne Campground remained temporarily closed by the U.S. Forest Service for the safety of the public and to help with the investigation and search for the bear as of Friday afternoon. The latest news release indicated that the bear had not yet been located. The sheriff urged the public to remain cautious and follow bear safety measures when camping. I don't want this to become open season on any bear that someone may see, as most bears fear humans and run away, he said in the release. But at the same time, don't put yourself or others in jeopardy. Several other agencies, including the U.S. Forest Service, the National Park Service, Jasper Police Department, 14th Judicial Drug Task Force, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, and Newton County Coroner's Office have been a part of this investigation.
417 Magazine's 2025 Medical Review Board members recommend the following doctors: Dr. Troy Caron, Ozarks Healthcare Orthopedics and Spine; Dr. Jeffrey Stanzik, Mercy Clinic OBGYN; Dr. David Merriman, Mercy Orthopedics; Dr. Mark Walter Skirkin, CMH Urology Surgical Clinic; Dr. Charles Woodall, Cox Health Surgery, Springfield; Partain, MD, Dr. Evelyn Partain, who received her MD from Pontifical Xaverian University, helps reverse metabolic conditions through the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine: plant-based nutrition, physical activity, restorative sleep, stress management, avoiding risky substances, and positive social connections. Center for Plastic Surgery. The Center for Plastic Surgery at Cox Health believes aging is a treatable condition, not inevitable. Their approach blends advanced plastic surgery with proven anti-aging treatments, emphasizing early detection and timely intervention to slow, prevent, and even reverse visible signs of aging. Mercy Neurosciences. Mercy Neurosciences stands at the forefront of specialty care, transforming lives, restoring function, and providing hope through exceptional expertise and commitment to innovative care. Mercy Women and Children. Mercy's Women and Children Services provides expert, compassionate care for families across all stages of life. Shaw Plastic Surgery Medical Spa. Dr. Bharat Shah is a triple board certified plastic surgeon with over 30 years of experience, specializing in procedures for the face, breast, body, and hair restoration. Experience excellence. Schedule a consultation today. Dr. David Anderson is a board-certified urologist at Cox Health, where he's been serving patients with expertise and compassion since 2005. Awarded one of America's Best Prostate Cancer Surgeons by Newsweek in 2024, Dr. Anderson is known for his thoughtful approach and dedication to his field as he helps patients navigate complex health decisions with confidence. Perimeter Healthcare. At Perimeter Behavioral Hospital of Springfield, Compassionate Care makes innovative treatment, known throughout Southwest Missouri for providing acute psychiatric services for children and adolescents ages 6 to 17. The hospital is now leading the way with the launch of its new Autism Spectrum Disorder Programming Unit, specifically designed to meet the unique needs of youth who are experiencing a behavioral or psychiatric crisis. Mercy Eye Specialist. Since 1995, Dr. Shakar Tober with Mercy Eye Specialist has completed more than 10,000 laser vision correction procedures. He attributes these large numbers to the excellent service and VIP treatment that he has become well known for. Innovative Dental. Dr. Olson is a leading innovator in the dental industry with extensive experience in implant dentistry. He has helped thousands of patients restore their smile with implants, including the innovative Implant Smile and All-on-X procedure.
St. George's Donuts is expanding to Nixa. Nick St. George, who also owns company stores at 3628 East Sunshine Street in Springfield and 1415 West Highway J in Ozarks, said his goal is to open the new Nixa location at 701 North McCroskey Street in spring 2026. Village Marketplace landlord Jared Commercial and Management, LLC, first teased this St. George's Donuts eatery in a November 21st Facebook post. St. George said he signed a lease rate for undisclosed terms to occupy roughly 1,300 square feet in Village Marketplace. The lease initially runs 5 years and has 2 5-year options, he said. The reason I chose Nixa is because it is a nice, growing community, St. George said via email. I like the location on Highway 160. It is visible with high traffic. Also, I was excited to get a chance to work with Jared Commercial for the first time. As with his 2 other stores, St. George said he would own the Nixa St. George's Donuts via NTSG Enterprises, LLC, a South National Avenue store in Springfield, as well as a location in Marshfield, are separately owned in the St. George family, according to past reporting.
Springfield mom files wrongful death suit against Kratom manufacturers and distributors. Breck Brossette was focused on fitness and being healthy. He told his mom he was going to quit drinking coffee and instead take an herbal supplement he believed was safe. That supplement was Kratom. According to his mom, Breck Brossette was always focused on fitness and being healthy. He worked out 4:30 to 5:30 a.m. every day. He didn't smoke, drink, use drugs, and was a clean eater, his mom, Deborah Brossette said. Originally from Texas, Brett came to live with his mom in Springfield more than a decade ago after her husband died. He always made the coffee in the morning, and he came home one day and told me, I don't think I'm going to drink coffee anymore because I'm going to take this new supplement, Deborah Brossette recalled. And I said, well, what is it? And he said, oh, it's ancient Chinese medicine. They've been using it for hundreds of years. It's herbal. That supplement was Kratom. A few years after that conversation, Deborah Brossette found Breck dead in his bed on October 9th, 2022. He was just 38. Completely baffled and devastated by her seemingly healthy son's sudden death, Deborah Brossette requested an autopsy, which revealed he died as a result of ingesting Kratom products. According to the toxicology report, Breck had 3,400 ng per milliliters, nanograms per millimeter of mitragynine in his system. He had no other illicit or illegal drugs in his system. His cause of death was listed as mitragynine intoxication. Mitragynine is the active substance in Kratom products such as OPMS Gold Kratom extract shots, K-Blast Kratom extract shots, Safari Kratom, Platinum Kratom, Gold Kratom Chill, and Club 13 Kratom. Products Breck often purchased from vape CBD Kratom Superstore locations in Springfield. According to a wrongful death lawsuit the Springfield mother filed in September against numerous manufacturers and distributors of the Kratom products Breck consumed regularly. He thought it was all natural and it was safe, Deborah Brissett said, crying. He would never have taken that if he thought he was going to die. Companies operate behind webs of LLCs. Attorney Nick Brand is representing Deborah Brissett in the suit. Brand explained that the reason the suit names so many defendants. These companies operate behind webs of LLCs and phony companies to hide what they're doing and their assets, Brand said. If you went and bought a bottle of Kratom, you'd look at the bottle and you'd be like, I have no idea who manufactured this. I don't have any idea what's in it, and that's a huge problem. Brand is currently representing 3 different clients who have filed wrongful death suits against Kratom manufacturers and distributors. Deborah Brissett, as well as one in Kansas and one in New Jersey. There's one case I have where we have 2 separate tests of the potency of the mitragynine within their Kratom products, and one has a potency of 16 milligrams per gram of mitragynine within the product, and the other one has a potency of 390 milligrams per gram. I mean, imagine you're holding 2 cans of beer, and one of them was 24 times stronger than the other one, and you had no idea based on the packaging or labeling. Brand continued. You take one and you don't get much, you take another and you die. It's scary. Brand, with the Donlan Brand law firm in Kansas City, said his firm gets about 2 calls every week related to suspected Kratom deaths. What is Kratom? Kratom is an herbal extract that comes from the leaves of the Mitragyna speciosa tree, which grows in Southeast Asia. Some users say Kratom boosts their energy, helps them relax, and or relieves pain. Some take Kratom to ease the withdrawal symptoms that come with quitting opioids. The Kratom comes with its own risks of addiction, withdrawal, and overdose. According to the FDA, Kratom is not a lawful dietary supplement, food additive, or ingredient in any approved drug. AG also questions Kratom's safety. In November, Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway launched an investigation into the makers and sellers of Kratom and 7-hydroxymitragynine, 7-OH. 7-OH is made by chemically converting the main opioid-inducing element in Kratom and is sold as gummies, candies, liquid shots, tablets, and powders. Consumers, Hanaway said in a press release, may be exposed to unapproved, unsafe, and deceptively marketed opioid-like drugs. According to letters sent to each company, the Attorney General's investigation targets the distribution of products containing 7-OH or any part of the plant Mitragynna speciosa, which is the Kratom plant. We are deeply concerned, Hanaway said, that Missourians are being sold drug-like substances under the guise of harmless supplements with no FDA approval, no safety testing, and in some cases, no meaningful disclosure of what these products actually contained. A quiet, mannerly peacemaker, Deborah Brissett described her son as the peacemaker dating back to his junior high days. He was quiet, mannerly, just everybody loved him because he got along with everybody, she said. I never had any trouble with him. He was an honor roll student, played baseball in high school, and played soccer all his life. Breck earned a 4-year degree in business administration from Dallas Baptist University and was also a certified trainer through the Cooper Clinic in Dallas. At the time of his death, Breck was a warehouse supervisor at Heart of America Beverage Company in Springfield. He loved to ride motorcycles and four-wheelers, his mom said. His true love was his 1996 Ford Mustang Cobra, which Deborah Brissett still has. She said she used to worry Breck was out racing. And I think now, whatever he did, I'm glad he did it, she said, because he got cut short. A mother's guilt. Deborah Brissett explained that Breck lived with her in Springfield that last decade of his life because her husband died and she experienced a health scare. He just took care of me after my husband died. It was like he was the man of the house, she said, crying. He has no children, no wife. I robbed him of, I think. Those 10 years from 28 to 38, he should have been getting married and having kids, but he was worried about me. Deborah Brissett, a retired registered nurse, expressed guilt over not being able to save her son. After all, she was just 10 feet away in another room when he died. She even had Narcan, a medication used to reverse opioid overdoses, in the house, although she said it never would have occurred to her to use Narcan because she had no idea he had overdosed on Kratom. Nobody wants to send their child for an autopsy, but I have 4 grandchildren, 4 of his nephews, and I thought, what if he died of an aneurysm like his dad? That's hereditary, she said. So I had to have that autopsy. It doesn't make you look stoned or act stoned or anything. So I had no clue, and he had no clue. I don't guess I'll ever stop crying. Kratom can, in effect, make someone high when abused, a feeling that is akin to opioids, according to the American Addiction Centers. It is not considered illegal in most states. Deborah said she was relieved and happy to hear the Missouri Attorney General launched the investigation into the makers and sellers of Kratom and 7-OH. We are a bunch of broken-hearted mothers and fathers trying to fight these pro-Kratom lobbyists, she said. We don't have money to throw around, but what we have given is priceless. We have given our children, and we are fighting for your children. In the 2 years since her son died, Deborah Brissett figures she's lost about 50 pounds. She does not want other parents to experience this kind of pain, she said. It's the worst pain in the world, she said. I don't guess I'll ever stop crying. Suit. Breck spent thousands on Kratom. According to the suit, Breck Brissett spent more than $10,000 on Kratom products from the 1735 West Sunshine Street location during the years of 2021 and 2022. Breck became addicted to Kratom as a result of these purchases, the suit alleges, and he built a tolerance to Kratom and would suffer withdrawal symptoms if he attempted to stop using Kratom. Further, because of his tolerance to Kratom, it required more potent Kratom and increased dosage to have his desired effects and to stave off withdrawal. The petition states in part, as a result of decedent Breck Brissett's addiction and his increased tolerance to Kratom and its active substances of nitroguanine and 7-OH, decedent increased the frequency of his intake and the amount of his intake. At the time of his death, the lawsuit says Breck had in his possession a bottle of Safari Kratom, an empty container of K-Blast Kratom extract shot, and a bottle of Kratom Gold Chill Kratom. Each of these Kratom products were purchased at the Vape CBD Kratom Superstore in Springfield. A message left for Lee Beatty, the Kansas City attorney representing Sunshine Ventures Incorporated, the corporation that owns and operates the Vape CBD Kratom Superstore locations in Springfield, was not immediately returned. The defendant's response to the lawsuit filed on October 28 states in part that Deborah Brissett's claims are barred in whole or part to the extent that decedent used the products at issue in a manner or in an activity contrary to express adequate instructions or warnings appearing on or attached to the products or on the product's original containers or wrappers. Suit. It's not safe for human consumption. According to the suit, Kratom and Kratom extract sold in the U.S. are far more dangerous than other natural products sold over the counter. Kratom product manufacturers are increasing the potency of their Kratom and the danger of its consumption without any warning, proper regulation, or appropriate information provided to consumers, the suit states. The suit further states in part, Kratom contains dozens of psychoactive compounds or alkaloids, including nitroguanine and 7-OH. These two alkaloids bind to the same opioid neural receptors as morphine. Like opiates, these compounds can lead to analgesia, euphoria, and sedation. Kratom is classified as a new dietary ingredient by the FDA, and therefore it must not be marketed or sold for human consumption without pre-market verification that it is safe for that purpose. None of the defendants have ever satisfied the basic industry standard for establishing Kratom products that are safe for human consumption. Despite never having satisfied the standard, defendants' Kratom products have been and are currently being sold for human consumption. Recent research indicates Kratom is 63 times more deadly than other natural products that are sold to American consumers. Unable to verify Kratom's safety, the Kratom industry has been built upon clandestine and fraudulent business activities, including unlawful importation of Kratom as plant food, incense, cosmetics, and other legal terms. Defendants were aware that Kratom was not approved by the FDA for human consumption. Nevertheless, each defendant designed, manufactured, distributed, and or sold Kratom products and represented Kratom as being safe for human consumption by marketing and distributing it as a safe supplement. Defendants designed, manufactured, distributed, and or sold Kratom in powdered form to be mixed as a tea, capsule form, or as a shot.
A new freeze-drying venture is heating up in Mount Vernon. The exit of a manufacturing company from a roughly 43,000 square foot facility in Mount Vernon turned into an opportunity for a startup freeze-drying venture. Boreas Freeze Dry LLC is about to complete its first year of operations and anticipates around $5 million in revenue, according to officials. Launched in January, Boreas is located at 601 West Hayward Drive in a building long used by manufacturer Positronic Industries, Inc. The facility also serves as a third-party production site for other companies, Boreas officials said. Boreas president Heath Mooneyham said the company's services include freeze-drying and processing for myriad industries, milling to achieve particle size for applications such as fine powders and coarse granules, and packaging options including pre-made pouches, case packing, labeling, and coating. The company also is certified to participate in U.S. government contracting for products such as military rations. The food world's a great big world out there, Mooneyham said. I think now more than ever we're starting to see a lot bigger push towards natural ingredients, and so that's kind of pushing a lot of people down the more natural path, and freeze-drying is just an essential way to make that happen. Using traditional drying through dehydration, Mooneyham said food products can lose up to 60% of nutritional value, but by freeze-drying that percentage can increase to roughly 97%. Shelf life is also substantial. Stored properly, we can probably get it to last 25 plus years with freeze-drying it, he said. We just do a wide variety of products. Ingredients for freeze-drying include fruits, vegetables, proteins, candy, sauces, and nutraceutical products such as aloe vera and microgreens. Mooneyham said organic, non-genetically modified, kosher, and halal options are available upon request. On a recent Monday, several of Boreas' roughly 15 employees were preparing raw beef livers for the freeze-drying process. That includes storage in deep freeze units before milling the beef into capsule form. We actually do a lot in the beef liver space, Mooneyham said. Beef liver is obviously really good for you, but nobody wants to eat it. I guess the concept is get all the nutrition out. We get it processed and freeze-dried and milled down to the powder form and then encapsulate it. People take it as pills, so you can get all the nutrition and not have to taste it. Mooneyham declined to disclose startup costs for the venture, which is owned by David Loss, noting it's significant. He said 4 of the commercial-grade machines used by the company in the freeze-drying process each cost in the $1 to $2 million range. In 2023, Positronic Industries exited its Mount Vernon plant, construction in 1999, on an 8-acre site as part of a years-long consolidation effort, according to past Springfield Business reporting. The company manufactures high-end electronic connectors used in aerospace, industrial, and military applications. Boreas purchased the building in June 2024, but took several more months to start production. Mooneyham said there's a long lead time on procuring equipment. One of his machines was ordered in March 2024 and wasn't delivered until November. While Mooneyham had interest in freeze-drying a couple years before starting at Boreas, it was merely a hobby. We were in the specialty mushroom space like lion's mane, reishi, stuff like that, he said of himself and Blaine Conway, now Boreas' vice president of sales. We'd kind of met through that space, and I had started freeze-drying at home. Mooneyham began selling some freeze-dried products from his wife's garden in places such as the Ozarks Farmers Market. That led him and Conway on a nearly 2-year journey doing market research and learning as much as they could about commercial freeze-drying operations. It's a growing industry, according to a report from India-based Straits Research. The North American freeze-drying market size was valued at $709.5 million in 2024 and is projected to grow from $758 million this year to roughly $1.28 billion by 2033. We do everything from large-scale candy production to lots of aloe vera coming out of Mexico, he said, noting the company is certified with government agencies such as the U.S. Drug and Food Administration and U.S. Department of Agriculture. It comes in liquid, you freeze dry it, and then we build into a powder, and it's sold all over the world into cosmetics and all kinds of stuff. Never would have thought something like that. Boreas regularly signs non-disclosure agreements for its work, which Mooneyham says keeps the company from disclosing an extensive list of its clientele. If you go to a Walmart, we've produced some products in there, he said. However, he did mention one of his local clients is David Bueller, co-owner of Bueller Organics LLC and Elder Farms LLC. Bueller said his Mount Vernon company has completed several runs with Boreas, each one processing around 2,000 pounds of elderberries at a time. Communication is clear, timelines are reliable, and their handling of the fruit has been excellent from start to finish, Bueller said via email. Boreas is also able to mill and package the freeze-dried powder, which has been a huge benefit in keeping the process streamlined and efficient. The presence of a facility like Boreas in Mount Vernon is incredibly important for the elderberry industry, Bueller said. Over a decade ago, the Bueller family converted its nearly 400-acre farm, established in 1899, from a traditional dairy farm to the nutraceutical company it is today, according to past reporting. Elder Farm's lineup includes elderberry honey, immune shots, syrups, and salves. Freeze-drying is such a critical step, and having this capability locally supports growers, processors, and product makers across the region, Bueller said. It cuts down on transportation challenges, reduces turnaround times, and makes large-scale production far more feasible. A new machine for Boreas, which is named after the Greek god of the north wind, just came online a couple weeks ago, Mooneyham said. In keeping with the company's Greek mythology theme, the unit is dubbed Poseidon. Two of its other machines are named Zeus and Medusa. That's how we measure how much product we can actually put in there, he said of Poseidon's 4,000-pound ice capacity, noting most of its other machines can hold trays of product at a capacity ranging from 1,400 to 3,000 pounds. He said Boreas tries not to limit himself to particular products, but there are limits to what they will freeze-dry. Being dedicated to the quality side of it, you actually have to say no a lot more than you say yes, because it's pretty wild what people would want freeze-dried out there, he said. A hard no would be like a new mother's placenta. Mooneyham said there's still room to grow in the existing facility, noting the extra acreage provides room to expand the footprint if needed. The company is actively looking for more employees, such as food and safety practitioners. He said the workforce could triple by this time next year. We're probably looking at adding at least 4 more machines in 2026, he said, noting the company is contracting with clients according to its current capacity well into 2026. In this short amount of time, we've developed some pretty good relationships with suppliers and now a lot of people. They actually call us.
Answer Man, why is area north of Springfield called Ebenezer? By Steve Polkin. Why is there an area in Greene County called Ebenezer and an Ebenezer Fire Protection District? Was there a family named Ebenezer? Newsroom colleague Jack McGee of Springfield. No, it does not come from a family by that name. In fact, I have never met anyone with the name Ebenezer first or last name. Of course, there's Ebenezer Scrooge, but he's the concoction of writer Charles Dickens. But there are many churches with the word Ebenezer in their name. That's a clue. The Ebenezer we're talking about is from the Bible, specifically 1 Samuel chapter 7. In summary, the Israelites are at war with the Philistines. The Israelites are fearful, and Samuel rallies them and says, God is with us. And the fired-up Israelites went out and struck them down, them being the Philistines. They struck them down as far as Bethkar, in fact. That's where Samuel took a stone and placed it there as a memorial, like an empty can of whoop-ass. Ebenezer in Hebrew means stone of help. Many religious people see the word Ebenezer as a message that God has helped us come this far. It most likely was settler Elizabeth Robertson. I've read several news stories about the area of Greene County called Ebenezer, which is roughly 7 miles north of Springfield, roughly between highways 13 and H, Kansas Expressway and Glenstone Avenue. I've also learned that the residents of Ebenezer are called Ebenezerites. Regardless, there are various historical accounts of which white settlers came to the area in about 1831 and looked around and saw 2 nearby springs and said, not necessarily in these exact words, I shall call this area Ebenezer because God has helped me get this far. What? No Trader Joe's? I'm going to stick with what Laura Nichols tells me about the name Ebenezer because she's the director of the Ebenezer Historical Society, whose motto is moving Ebenezer forward into the past. She lives in Ebenezer and is a member of the Ebenezer First Methodist Church at 1795 West Farm Road 56. It was most likely Elizabeth Robertson who named the area Ebenezer in 1831, Nichols tells me. Robertson settled the area when she arrived with her adult children, 7 adult sons and 7 adult daughters and their families. Her husband had died during the trip from Tennessee, Nichols says. Robertson, a familiar name in Greene County. The area became Robertson Township, and Elizabeth's progeny are why there is a Robertson Avenue in Springfield, and why there once was a Robertson School in Springfield. The school board declared Robertson School, located at 1100 East Kearney Street, surplus property in 2024 and sold it in 2025. At one point, Nichols says, the area was incorporated as a village and had a post office. But I don't think we ever had a mayor, she adds. It voluntarily became unincorporated years ago in order to form a road district, she says. The post office is gone, as are the handful of businesses that were once in Ebenezer. Outside the Ebenezer First Methodist Church is a historical marker. It gave me the mistaken impression that the church itself dates to 1831. It does not. The first Ebenezer Methodist Church was constructed elsewhere in the Ebenezer area. The Ebenezer First Methodist Church that stands today was constructed in 1893, says Nichols. It is listed as a Greene County historical site. Ebenezer in Robertson Township was settled in 1831. Among the earliest inhabitants were members of the Painter and Robertson families and two veterans of the American Revolution, Elisha Headley and David Bedell. James H. Slavins, Methodist circuit rider, appointed to the James Fork of White River Mission in 1831, organized a class here, and in 1832 they built a church. Naming it Ebenezer, thus far the Lord has led us on. 1 Samuel 7:12. The church gave the hamlet its name. In 1842, the Springfield Circuit voted to build a high school on the manual labor system on the campground here. But it was not until 1848 that Southwest Missouri College, under the direction of Reverend A.H. Mathis, opened its doors. The school closed at the beginning of the Civil War, but Ebenezer remained a thriving rural trade center for many years. Springfield, Greene County, American Revolutionary Bicentennial Committee, dedicated December 1977.
Christy Folnecki resigns from the Springfield City Council. Christy Folnecki resigned from Springfield City Council after holding her seat since April 2015. Folnecki tendered her resignation effective today as General Seat C councilwoman, according to a news release. Folnecki and her family are moving to a house in Nixa. The council members are required by city charter to reside within Springfield city limits. I thank Christy for her service to our community and her commitment to public service, said Mayor Ken McClure, who last year defeated Folnecki in a mayoral bid in the release. As we have frequently said, both as a council and individually, Springfield is a community of volunteers, and the community's success is based upon the willingness of its citizens to be a part of the process and to commit their time and resources to making our home a better place to live. I am grateful for her service. In a statement on Facebook, Folnecki said that while she'll still own a house in Springfield city limits, the home in Nixa will be her principal place of residence. Although the city charter doesn't define the term residence as a principal place of residence, I feel it's only fair to be honest and not try to debate the residency requirement, she said in a statement. I really feel like I have been a voice for the people and have given others hope that they are listened to and can make a difference. I've always felt it was important to challenge the status quo, ask questions, not waste taxpayer money, and make an independent decision based upon the facts. Folnecki most recently served on the Community Involvement Committee while a member of the council. Her term was set to expire in April 2019, along with that of the mayor and 4 other council seats. Applications for the seats up for re-election in April 2019 are due by the city January 15th, according to a new separate release.
Visit more than a dozen Ozarks homes decked out for the holidays on these tours by Suzanne Schuch, Springfield News-Leader. Ever walked past a beautifully decorated house and wondered what it looked like inside? You're in luck. More than a dozen Ozarks homes are opening their doors the first weekend of December. This year, you'll have the chance to tour homes in Springfield, near Table Rock Lake, and in Marshfield as a part of annual holiday events. Midtown Victorian Homes Tour in Springfield. Visit and tour 5 large historic homes, as well as a Victorian church in the Midtown neighborhood this year during the Midtown Victorian Homes Tour. There will be an evening tour from 5 to 8:30 p.m. December 5th, and a day tour from noon to 4:30 p.m. December 6th. In addition to touring houses, Sacred Heart Church, 1609 North Summit Avenue, will host its annual vendor and craft sale from 5 to 9 p.m. December 5th and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. December 6th. In its 30th year, the tour attracts between 500 and 600 people each year and is the main fundraiser for the Midtown Neighborhood Association. Funds from the tour have supported back-to-school bashes for Boyd Elementary School, as well as a scholarship for a high school student, the annual 4th of July parade, and biannual cleanups, and support for elderly residents and those with disabilities. There's free parking and a shuttle at Drury's Diversity Center, 803 Drury Lane. Tickets are $15 in advance and $20 at the door. They can be purchased online through PayPal at Midtown SGF or Venmo at Midtown 214. Tickets are also available in person at Sacred Heart Church, Machino's, 1715 South Campbell Avenue, Enterprise Park Lane, 1625 South Enterprise Avenue, or at Sunshine Lanes, 1500 West Sunshine Street.
The November portion of Missouri firearms deer season harvest falls 15% below the 5-year average. With the November portion of firearms deer season concluded, preliminary harvest numbers are in, and they are below the 5-year average. According to a Missouri Department of Conservation news release, 159,120 deer were harvested during the season that ran November 16th to the 26th. Most of these were antlered bucks at more than 82,600, with 63,304 does and 13,203 button bucks also harvested. In Greene and Christian counties, a total of 1,350 and 1,187 deer were harvested respectively, both lower by several hundred from last year. Franklin County posted the top harvest numbers in the state, surpassing 3,500 deer. This year's harvest was significantly lower than last year's November portion, total of almost 194,000, according to the release. This year's harvest also falls about 15% below the 5-year average. MDC Cervid Program Supervisor Jason Isabel said in the release several factors contributed to the drop in harvest, including the calendar shift, acorn crop, and weather conditions. With the November portion starting about a week later, it was further from the peak of the rut, which is about November 10th, Isabel said. Much of November was also unseasonably warm and included some high wind days, impacting both deer movement and hunters' desire to be out in the woods. With more acorns and forest across the state, deer also needed to move less to find food. Firearms deer hunting in Missouri continues with the CWD portion, November 27th through December 1st, and open counties. The late use portion runs November 29th through December 1st, followed by the late antlerless portion, December 7th through 15th in open counties, and then the alternative methods portion, December 28th through January 7th, 2025. Archery deer season reopens November 27th and runs through January 15th.
How Costco's inflation-proof $1.50 hot dog deal became America's Happy Meal. Jessica Goyen, USA Today. Content creator Joey Kinsley has pulled quite a few gut-busting feats. He ate chili every hour for 24 hours, once consumed only potato chips for 48 hours. None of these stunts went more viral than when Kinsley dined on nothing but Costco hot dogs for 7 straight days. The price tag for binging 29 hot dogs dolled up with ketchup, mustard, and relish and washed down with a Pepsi or Mountain Dew, $43.50, plus the cost of the membership, and some extreme indigestion. Pepto-Bismol and Tums each send him care packages. I always say in my videos, please do not try this at home, said Kinsley, who goes by Sir Yacht. But that definitely launched my YouTube thing. McDonald's has its golden arches, Nike the swoosh, and Walt Disney a castle, symbols of their iconic status in American life. Costco has its $1.50 hot dog and a soda deal, and the combo has never been more popular than on its 40th anniversary. In the fiscal year 2025, Costco set a new record, selling more than 245 million hot dog combos. With good reason. In a world seemingly stuffed with raw deals, a hot dog and a soda at Costco cost about the same as a few budget-friendly servings of home-cooked beans and rice. What other meal can you afford with the spare change scrounged from your sofa cushions? One YouTuber dubbed it the best deal on earth. for Kinsley, whose stunts include traveling to all 50 state capitals in 30 days. No other food challenge has been the bargain Costco was. He spent more on gas getting to the nearest warehouse than he did on Costco's most popular food court item. Costco's inflation-busting combo. What makes the combo truly unique? In all its years of hawking food court franks, Costco hasn't raised the price since the 1980s, even as the median price of grab-and-go meals has soared with inflation. A burger is $14.53, up 3.2% year over year, according to Toast's October menu price monitor, which keeps tabs on how inflation is hoisting restaurant prices. A burrito is up 3.3% to $13.43. Had the Costco hot dog and soda combo kept pace with inflation, that $1.50 deal would set you back $4.62 today, more than 3 times as much. It would still be a relative bargain with few parallels apart from Arizona's 99-cent can of iced tea that has skated under $1 since the company's founding in 1992. Not even Trader Joe's 19-cent bananas have been immune from market pressures. Analysts say the billowing scent of hot dogs that emanates daily from the warehouse food court is a constant reminder of Costco's commitment to delivering value at a time when American shoppers are fed up with nosebleed prices and constant scrimping. Some shoppers even pose for their Costco membership card picture holding or biting into a hot dog. It is now a symbol of what Costco stands for, said Neil Saunders, Managing Director of Global Data Retail. At Costco, people feel like they're winning. It may seem counterintuitive, but for the Costco bean counters, the hot dog combo deal is a savvy move. You can almost see the profit margins widen as shoppers pushing carts loaded down with bulk buys descend on the food court to feast on a happy meal with this felt price. Business news site Morning Brew and YouTuber Phil Andrews of Maximonics calculated that Costco members spend about $1.75 a minute when shopping in the warehouse. Market research firm Kantar estimates Costco clears $530,000 in sales a minute in the U.S. This, said Rachel Dalton, head of retailer insights at Kantar, is now the Costco sausage gets made. The hot dog deal drives loyalty, and that loyalty is measured in membership fees. Costco raked in almost $270 million in those fees last year. Kantar data shows that 95% of Costco members plan to renew their membership. That $1.50 combo price point is almost unbelievable, Dalton said. It tells shoppers Costco hears me and listens to me. Newport Beach, California filmmaker Nate Ford has been shopping at Costco since he was a toddler hitching a ride in the cart alongside the toilet paper and eggs. When he was growing up in San Diego, his dad was such a fan of the inflation-proof foot-long all-beef wiener nestled in a fluffy bun that he'd buy them for himself and his German shepherds. The combo deal thrilled his dad so much that sometimes he'd buy 10 combo deals at a time. Ford would then have to cradle 10 cups of sloshing lemonade on the drive home. At Costco, people feel like they're winning because they are getting a good deal. Hot dog fans from Michael Penix Jr. to Julia Child. As popular with baby boomers as the TikTok generation, Costco's combo has taken on mythic proportions. When Michael Penix Jr. found out he got the starting quarterback job with the Atlanta Falcons, he told reporters he was in line getting a Costco hot dog. Professional wrestler Mark Henry went viral when he famously converted to Costco hot dogs. None other than Julia Child used to hit the food court for at the end of every Costco shopping expedition, enjoying it as much as a fine French meal, according to her biography. Even Ryan Reynolds got into the act, appearing alongside Richard Galante in a tongue-in-cheek campaign naming the former Costco executive as Mint Mobile's honorary anti-inflation officer. This is a man who stared inflation in the face and said, "Not on my hot dog." Reynolds deadpanned in the ad. Some fans even have hot dog tattoos. Tom Solikov, who used to work in the Costco food court as a teenager before a career in graphic design in Toronto, had such fond memories of those days that he got the hot dog and soda deal inked on his right arm. "It's iconic," said A.J. Bufumo, one of the Costco guys with his 12-year-old son Eric, a.k.a. Big Justice. The father and son duo from Boca Raton, Florida, became TikTok sensations a couple of years ago when they uploaded a video of their Costco antics. Eric dancing with premium sausages, and AJ weightlifting 2 jugs of milk. They have racked up 2.8 million followers while rating everything from the double chocolate chunk cookie to the chicken bake. Also one of the internet's favorite hacks, a hot dog stuffed inside a chicken bake. On their boom meter, the hot dog and soda combo deal scored a perfect 5 booms. What's more American than hot dogs? An epic deal on hot dogs, Bufuma said. In this day and age when the prices of everything are increasing, that you can get a hot dog of that size and of that quality with a soft drink for $1.50 is nostalgic. The hot dog was $1.50 20 years ago. It's $1.50 now. From humble start to top dog, Costco's inflation-proof deal got its start with a lone hot dog cart parked outside the warehouse in Portland, Oregon in 1985. Joe Portera, the general manager, allowed a vendor nicknamed Warm Wonderful Gene to set up shop there without first getting permission from Costco corporate. The executives in the home office loved the idea, and they not only let it slide, they expanded on it, according to David and Susan Schwartz. The husband and wife team chronicled the history of the Costco hot dog in The Joy of Costco, A Treasure Hunt from A to Z. They self-published the book in 2023 under the imprint Hot Dog Press in homage to Susan's late father, who was partial to hot dogs, and to the importance of the $1.50 hot dog deal to Costco's success. It was so important, in fact, that the Costco food court was originally called Cafe 150 in honor of the hot dog combo's low price, they said. From time to time, the fate of that price hung in the balance. At a business luncheon in 2018, W. Craig Jelinek, who went on to be the CEO of Costco, recalled approaching his then boss, Costco co-founder Jim Senegal, to suggest raising the price because we were losing our rear ends. He said, "If you raise the effing hot dog, I will kill you. Figure it out." Jelinek did figure it out. In 2008, Costco switched from Hebrew National, which was raising prices, and started manufacturing its own hot dogs at a plant in California and later at another in Illinois. "We kept it at $1.50 and make enough money to get a fair return," Jelinek said in an interview in 2018. What's Costco without its $1.50 hot dog? Over the years, Costco has fiddled with the drinks and condiments to maintain the price. This summer, it switched back to Coke from Pepsi in another cost-saving move. A lot of people think it's a loss leader, but it's not, David Schwartz said. Loss leaders are products sold below market value to get customers in the door and entice them to buy pricier items. They don't make a lot of money on it, but they do make money on it. If anyone would know, it's the Schwartzes who had rare success to the Costco honchos while writing their book. They are also the ultimate Costco hot dog fans. In fact, their first meeting with Senegal in 2018 was over a hot dog. They have also tasted hot dogs fresh off the assembly line in Chicago and in their travels to 350 Costco warehouses around the globe. Sampled hot dogs with fried crispy onions in Iceland and pickled jalapeno peppers in Mexico. They still marvel at how popular Costco hot dogs are in Japan. There's a Costco next to the ballpark where the Hiroshima Toyo Kart baseball team plays, so fans can get their hot dogs at Costco and grilled octopus balls at the game. But can the Costco combo hold the $1.50 line forever? Count on it, the Schwartzes say. I don't think it's going to change at all, David Schwartz said. They will do anything they can, everything they can, to keep it at $1.50 as long as the company is around. It is such an institution. What is Costco without its $1.50 hot dog?
Downtown Springfield shooting, result of meeting with ex with history of violence. A woman arrested for allegedly shooting and killing a man at a downtown Springfield apartment building had a history of domestic violence, court documents showed. Candace Hoskins, 28, was arrested and is facing 4 felony counts for a shooting at the 505 apartment building at 505 East St. Louis Street on Wednesday, November 12th. Xavier Scott, 21, died from gunshot wounds suffered at the scene. This was Springfield's 9th homicide investigation in a year. According to the probable cause statement filed in Greene County Circuit Court, Hoskins was meeting her ex, with whom Scott had hung out for most of the day, at an apartment to retrieve a piece of mail and a blanket. While the ex had agreed to meet Hoskins outside of the apartment building, Hoskins was instead led into the building and up the elevator by another resident and confronted her ex and Scott on the 4th floor by the apartment. The interaction was cordial at first, but Hoskins allegedly became angry and more hostile, believing Scott had muttered something under his breath or begun arguing, documents say. An altercation ensued between Hoskins and her ex, during which Hoskins took both her ex's and Scott's cell phones. According to the felony complaint, this was cause for the 2 robbery charges. After some time struggling, the ex left, which she told detectives was to go to the lobby and have someone call 911. According to the probable cause statement, surveillance footage showed Hoskins eventually turning away from Scott to leave when Scott followed behind her and struck her on the right side of her head, leading her to fall on the ground. The 2 then struggled on the ground until the footage showed Scott's body go limp. His body later was found by officers with multiple gunshot wounds, including at least one to his face. When Springfield police officers arrived, Hoskins was found outside of the apartment building with a gunshot wound above her left knee. Video footage showed Hoskins collapse with 2 guns near her after the shooting. She later told officers she did not recall how she came to be in possession of Scott's firearm. Both guns were recovered by detectives. According to court documents, Hoskins allegedly admitted to shooting Scott during an interview with law enforcement and said she had been drinking and smoking marijuana prior to the incident. She also admitted to being armed with a semi-automatic pistol which she had bought off the street 2 years ago. The probable cause statement notes the pistol was found to be a stolen firearm reported on June 2023. Hoskins had a history of domestic assault with this and a previous ex-partner. In the request for a warrant and detention pending trial, Greene County prosecutor Dan Patterson noted in 2018 a different ex-paramour had reported Hoskins for allegedly striking her in the face. More recently, in July, the same ex-partner involved in Wednesday's confrontation had reported that during an argument in the parking lot, Hoskins had taken her phone from her, punched her, and used a steak knife to cut off parts of her hair before damaging the apartment. She had also warned 911 dispatchers that Hoskins had a gun. According to court document, the July incident remains an open investigation. Hoskins remains at the Greene County Jail being held with no bond.
College of the Ozarks president, part of a national Bible reading event by Claudette Riley, Springfield News-Leader. College of the Ozarks will be part of a national cover-to-cover Bible reading event in late April in preparation for the 250th birthday of the United States. Pastors, business leaders, elected officials, and others will take turns reading aloud each word of the Bible from the start of Genesis to the end of Revelation from April 19th to April 25th. Brad Johnson, president of College of the Ozarks, will read from 2 Kings 25 through 1 Chronicles 1 from 3 to 4 p.m. on Tuesday, April 21st. The private faith-based institution is located in Point Lookout, which is south of Branson. As we approach our nation's 250th anniversary, I am honored to participate in this historical calling of our nation back to its spiritual foundations, Johnson said in a news release. At College of the Ozarks, we believe that faith is the foundation to both character and community. This event reminds us that our freedoms are rooted in civic responsibility and the timeless truth of God's Word. Christians Engaged, a ministry of Family Policy Alliance Foundation, is putting on the America Reads the Bible event. The public can sign up to attend the event at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C., or join the live stream at americareadsthebible.com. The event was inspired by the biblical prophet Ezra, who read scripture aloud to the Israelites, awakening revival and repentance. Candace Cameron Bure, an actress and New York Times bestselling author, is the national spokeswoman for the event. Heal Our Land by Phil King has been named the official worship anthem.
Southwest Missouri has Mahjong fever. From glossy tile sets to sold-out socials, Mahjong has sparked a new community craze in Southwest Missouri. A couple times a month at Brown Derby International Wine Center, the clink of cocktail glasses blends with the distinctive shuffle of glossy tiles and sporadic shouts of Charleston and Pung. Dozens of players lean intently over card tables, squinting at the intricate, colorful symbols on their Mahjong sets and debating strategies. Within minutes of being announced online, Brown Derby's Mahjong social events sell out, despite consistently increasing the number of players, currently up to 50. In Springfield, Missouri, Mahjong isn't just having a moment, it's becoming a movement. Mahjong traces its origins to 19th century China, where players used the game's 144 intricately decorated tiles in a fast-paced contest of strategy, skill, and chance. Like with anything else, regional variations developed across Asia over time, with each with distinct rules and tile combinations. American Mahjong, the version now sweeping the Ozarks and not to be confused with Western Mahjong, has its own identity. First seen in the 1920s, the American game brought the tile count up to 152, added a standardized card of winning hands, and introduced a slightly different set of rules. Also sometimes styled as American Mahjong or American Mahjong, it caught on quickly, particularly among upper-class women's circles. It's the kind of game played in country clubs and living rooms, usually with a batch of fresh cocktails nearby. Popularity spiked again in the 1950s and 60s before slowly fading from modern-day culture. Now, a century after it first arrived on American shores, Mahjong is once again thriving, enjoying a renaissance, spreading rapid fire across the world. This time, social media is driving its resurgence, attracting a younger generation to the game's mix of tradition, strategy, and style. If Mahjong feels practically tailor-made for Instagram and TikTok, well, that's because it is. Not literally, of course, but the ornate tiles, traditionally made of bamboo or bone, and in more contemporary fashion, acrylic or melamine, and decorated with everything from flowers and dragons to Chinese characters and candy, have always had an enviable glamour. In recent years, brands like Oh My Mahjong, a Dallas-based women-owned company, the Mahjong line, My Fair Mahjong, Charleston Mahjong Club, and others have pushed the aesthetic even further with multicolored racks, bold fonts, and limited edition designs that sell out quickly. Mahjong room ideas on Pinterest, videos tagged #MahjongTalk, and the broader Granny era trend have introduced the game to a younger demographic who may have never encountered it otherwise. At the same time, lockdowns during the COVID-19 pandemic gave people extended stretches of time at home, creating a perfect opportunity to pick up new hobbies, like games that happen to be both engaging and visually appealing. These factors helped fuel a renewed interest in Mahjong, particularly in the South and on the East Coast, where the game has long had a following. Slowly but steadily, that revival continues to spread westward, and now the Ozarks are in the mix. Few people embody the Mahjong boom more than Stephanie Hornickel, a florist and quilting business owner from Ozark. She describes herself as the type of person who gets genuinely excited about things and who wants to share that excitement with others. After interviewing Hornickel, I can attest to that. I went into the conversation knowing next to nothing about Mahjong, and by the end, we were making plans for her to teach me. Hornickel dabbled in Mahjong here and there, learning casually with friends, but admits they never fully grasped all the rules. Determined to learn more, she began watching videos online. That's where she discovered Oh My Mahjong, a brand known for its stylish, upscale tile designs and luxury price tags. Soon, Hornickel had her sights set on one of the sets, and when she realized she could earn a discount by becoming a brand mentor, she jumped at the chance. From there, interest among her family and friends unexpectedly skyrocketed. Authentically and enthusiastically sharing about her new tiles on social media quickly drew attention, and before long, people in Hornickel's circle began asking her to teach them to play. "I can't get away from teaching now," she says playfully. Hornickel plays with 3 different groups weekly, but also offers private lessons 2 to 3 times per week and helps run the Brown Derby Open Play socials. She even uses her Oh My Mahjong discount to buy tile sets to donate them to Springfield libraries, where requests for Mahjong are steadily increasing. One of the things I love most about this journey is I've been teaching women I never even would have had a conversation with, Hornickel says. Our paths would have never even crossed. In Springfield's Roundtree neighborhood, the local bevy has become another hub for curious newcomers. The eclectic gift shop, curated with locally made art and other goods, owned by Andrea and Justin Petersburg, started hosting monthly Mahjong 101 classes in September, in partnership with Hornickel, naturally. The 2 women have known each other for years. Hornickel sometimes has quilted items for sale in the shop. And when Hornickel approached Petersburg with the idea that the local bevy could host classes, it was an immediate yes. Other than Brown Derby, Mahjong enthusiasts don't have many other places in town to play consistently. The local bevy's 2-hour 101 sessions cover fundamentals and then move into a quick few rounds. Participants don't need to bring anything. Tiles, racks, and teaching materials are provided. However, most will eventually purchase their own playing card, a key component of American Mahjong. There are a lot of rules, Peterberg says. It's a complicated game, not at all as straightforward as other card or tile games, and nothing like the computer game millennials probably remember from their childhood. But once you learn how to play, everyone loves it. She adds, playing Mahjong is a wonderful way to get back to the tradition of board game nights and build community at the same time. It sounds so cliche, but this game lets you get away from your phone, from social media, and leave your problems behind for a while. To meet Springfield's ever-growing demand for more opportunities to play, Petersburg and Hornickel have plans in the works to add regular open play nights to their currently monthly 101 classes. Word spreads quickly in Springfield's tight-knit creative community. A single Instagram post can fill a whole class. Hornickel also hopes to eventually bring major Mahjong tournaments to Springfield, pointing to other cities around the country that host Mahjong tournaments, including Dallas and Charleston. With the new 500-person capacity Hatch Auditorium opening at the Library Center in January, where Hornickel recently accepted a fitting position as the event space coordinator, the infrastructure is certainly here. If you're willing to travel a bit to get your fix, Ozark Mahjong in Fayetteville, Arkansas opened a permanent game lounge where individuals or groups can rent tables or book an instructional session. The group even collaborated with local artists to design its own tile set, the Art Deco, inspired by Winslow 1920 line, which launched in October.
Missouri teen swipes for state record fish of 2025 with Taneycomo bow fishing catch. Stephen Herzog, Springfield News-Leader. Well. Oh, there we go. A Bradleyville teen now holds a state fishing record. According to the Missouri Department of Conservation, Riley Isaacs, 17, was bow fishing at Lake Taneycomo earlier this month when he shot a 2-pound, 3-ounce red ear sunfish. It was just an ounce heavier than the previous record, also caught from Taneycomo in 2022. According to the department, Isaacs was guiding a bow fishing group looking for carp, but had to cut the trip short due to incoming storms. We sat at the boat ramp for about 30 minutes and realized the storms had passed by, so we decided to put the boat back in and play around for an hour or two, Isaac said. The first flat we pulled up on, she was waiting there. Once Isaac spotted the red ear sunfish, he immediately suspected it was a state record. We knew as soon as she hit the deck we had something special, he said. Isaac's catch is the first state record fish recorded in 2025. He plans to have a replica made in honor of his achievement. I've shot 3 more of these red ear sunfish, and I've missed the state record either by an ounce or 2 ounces each time. And now I finally got the state record. He said it feels awesome. The Missouri state record fish are recognized in 2 categories, pull and line and alternative methods. Alternative methods include trot line, throw line, limb line, bank line, jug line, gig, bow, crossbow, underwater spearfishing, snagging, snaring, grabbing, or at level.
Springfield-based entertainment center rebrands ahead of 25th anniversary. This week in 417 News, a Springfield-based entertainment center gets a new name, and a downtown Springfield sandwich shop announces late-night hours and a late-night menu. A Springfield-based chain of buffet/entertainment centers have announced it will take on a new name, recognizing that it's more than just pizza. Incredible Pizza Company announced that it will now be known as Incredible Food and Fun at the 2025 IAAPA Expo in Orlando, Florida. The new name and visual identity reflect the company's evolution over 25 years, growing from an all-you-can-eat pizza buffet into a nationally recognized destination for attractions, modern food experiences, and unforgettable family moments, the company said in a press release. The redesigned brand will debut at the Springfield flagship, which is the company's original location. Incredible Food and Fun was established in 2001 as Incredible Pizza Company by founders Rick and Cheryl Barsness. The company is known for its 80,000 square foot indoor family entertainment centers that offer attractions, arcade games, rides, and immersive experiences alongside freshly prepared food. The facilities are smoke-free and alcohol-free. The Almighty Sando Shop, 208 West McDaniel Street, has added new hours and a late-night menu after customer requests. The spot for unique sandwiches is now open late on Fridays and Saturdays for those in downtown Springfield craving snacks after hitting up the bars or seeing shows. According to a Facebook post, the shop will be open 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then open back up at 10 p.m. on Fridays, and will be open noon to 6 p.m. before opening back up at 10 p.m. on Saturdays. The late-night menu includes build-your-own sliders with options for protein and toppings, as well as Cajun fries, sweet tots, and crab rangoon. The Almighty Sando Shop got its start as a food truck before moving into the brick-and-mortar location previously occupied by the sandwich scene. A drive-through coffee stand has opened another Ozarks location. A 7 Brew opened at 1602 West South Street in Ozark on November 12th. It will be open 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and from 5:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. In addition, the grand opening, a press release of the location also donated more than $21,000 to local nonprofit Care to Learn, which partners with school districts to meet children's health, hunger, and hygiene needs. The stand will add 65 jobs to the area, according to a press release. 7 Brew offers over 20,000 unique drink combinations of coffee, sodas, energy drinks, smoothies, and teas. There are currently 7 stands in Springfield.
City Beat council members voiced concern about urban sprawl but okay rural development. Project plans call for 510 units at Division in LeCompte. By Karen Crago, reporter. All but one member of Springfield City Council voted in favor of rezoning for a contested multi-million-dollar development slated to bring 510 housing units to 48 acres in the city's northeast corner. At Council's November 3rd meeting, a need for additional housing in the city was cited by some of the members who voted 8-1 in favor of the rezoning, even as some expressed reservations about urban sprawl. Councilmember Craig Hosmer cast the sole no vote. The vote reclassifies recently annexed property to a planned development from a Greene County agricultural designation. Plans for the development call for 46 single-family homes and villas, 8 duplexes, 7 townhomes, and 10 three-story apartment buildings at the intersection of East Division Street and LeCompte Road. The yet unnamed development is being proposed by East Division Development, LLC. Springfield-based Naprodac Builders, LLC, is heading up the project with funding by California-based private equity firm Canyon View Capital Incorporated. At Council's October 20th public hearing on the rezoning bill, 31 speakers, some from neighboring single-family housing districts like Cooper Estates, stepped up to the microphone, with most opposed to the plans, mostly on the basis of the project's density. Prior to the November 3rd vote, council discussion expanded into a different concern, urban sprawl. Council member Brandon Jensen said this concern was larger than the development being discussed. The comprehensive plan is very clear that we should prioritize and guide the market to infill and redevelopment versus greenfield development on the edge of town that continues to take up prime agricultural and farmland. Jensen read from Chapter 7, the Housing and Neighborhoods chapter of the Forward SGF Comprehensive Plan adopted by the city in 2022. It says, the location of higher density residential development should be targeted to enhance and support existing transit and economic centers rather than drawing activity and investment away towards new centers. Each major development approved by council on the city's periphery works against that goal, he said. We are signaling to the development community that they should continue to prioritize investing in outward growth rather than densification within our city. Jensen said the city's current incentive structure does not prioritize infill and redevelopment. Sprawl will be detrimental to the long-term financial and environmental health of our community and our region, he said. At some point, we're going to have to draw the line in the sand. Nevertheless, Jensen said he would be voting in favor of the proposal because of the need for the housing in the city. The city's 2023 housing study found there was a deficit of almost 14,000 total housing units in Springfield. Hosmer, on the other hand, said he would be voting against the measure. He said the property was annexed into the city with the idea that it would be for traditional residential neighborhoods, and that does not describe the proposed development. We've got empty buildings all over the city of Springfield. vacant lots all over the city of Springfield that you can build multifamily housing in, and it would fit in. It would be close to services. And yet what we're doing is we're taking farmland on the outskirts of the city of Springfield and building apartment complexes. No city planner looking at this objectively would say that's a good idea. Nobody. Hosmer said the city, rather than the developers, must be in charge of planning. We let developers plan our city, he said. We spot zone. We give a zoning because the developer tells us we should, rather than us as a city planning our city. Hosmer said council frequently talks about its desire to emulate other cities, like Bentonville, Arkansas, for their quality of place. If you don't start planning sometime where you stick to your plan, you're never going to have the city you want to have, Hosmer said. You get the city you work for. Councilmember Abe McGull offered no reluctance to approve the rezoning. He had pointed to the economic benefit that is likely to come from the development. It is our duty to protect the rights of those who are investing millions of dollars in our city, McGull said. When I hear that it's a $100 million project, I can't help but think about all the carpenters, plumbers, and local electricians that will be employed for the next 6 to 10 years in this project, which is a phase-in project. The staff report submitted at this rezoning stage of the development does not include the cost of the development. SBJ previously reported that the developer has offered to pay the city $1.2 million for intersection improvements at Lecompton Division. Councilmember Heather Hardinger spoke up to clarify that the vote was limited to the rezoning request. A preliminary plat would come at a future date. There will be further technical review, of course, and then continued opportunities for public input. She added that meaningful progress has taken place behind the scenes between the developer and neighborhood representatives, and it is her hope that the progress they made together would be reflected in the final plan. Sunshine Town Center. The site of a future second Target store was a bear to work with, to hear developer Tom Walker of Springfield West Partners LLC tell it. Just to give you a frame of reference, I've built projects 4 times this size, much more complex, he said. We built a water tower in Ozarks, which is the worst thing I've ever done in my life. But this project was just off the charts difficult to develop because of the flooding, the water, the drainage. The Target and other commercial developments are either in place or taking shape in Sunshine Town Center, a 23-acre site at the southeast intersection of Sunshine Street and West Bypass. The developer was seeking an amendment to its 27-year Community Improvement District agreement to cover approximately $780,000 in public improvements beyond the scope of the original agreement, according to a report by Amanda Olin-Schillen, who directs the city's development of workforce and economic vitality. The bill also included an amendment by Councilmember Callie Carroll to replace a member on the CID's independent board of directors to meet requirements for the makeup of the 4-member body. Carroll's amendment replaces Tyler Creech with Andrew John Chavez to join the other 3 board members, Curtis Jared, David Havens, and Carrie Rovig. The amendment pushed the vote to another public hearing on November 17th with a vote set to follow. Walker told council the site was difficult to develop, but its problems have been resolved. We're past all that, he said. We think we've solved some significant problems out there with flooding, and we're actually very proud of the product that we've put together. Walker said demand has been off the charts by retailers interested in commercial space on the site. I walked through the store today and was blown away, he said. I built more than 50 big boxes in my career, and this is by far the most beautiful store I've ever seen in my 40-year career. Walker said his company worked hard with due diligence and cost estimates. It received approval, was issued permits, and began construction. We started construction, and city utilities informed us that the way we had thought we were going to be able to tap the sewer and the water lines, they never approved those, he said. I was like, I beg to differ with you, but that's irrespective of that. Jamie Presley, manager of communications for City Utilities of Springfield, told SBJ by email that CU teams worked closely with the developer and on-site contractor to move the project forward efficiently. As construction advanced, CU's engineering team identified challenges that needed to be addressed. In collaboration with the on-site contractor, our engineers developed an updated design that serves the development from the east side, providing a more reliable, sustainable, and cost-effective long-term solution, Presley said. She added that CUs can address the water portion of the development, but the sewer connection referenced by Walker is the city's. The CID, which does not include the target portion of the site, implements a 1% sales and use tax on goods within the district to generate an estimated $2.2 million of reimbursable project costs for interior streets and utility infrastructure, according to past CSBJ reporting. Other action items. 3 zoning measures were given first readings and public hearings, with votes set for November 17th. Paul Mueller Company is seeking the rezoning of a quarter acre at 426 North Warren Avenue to limited business from residential to townhouse for the purpose of replacing an existing single-family home with a parking lot. Morris Loan and Investment Corp. Wants to rezone 3 acres at 2565 North Kansas Expressway to highway commercial from general retail for outdoor storage. And Deckard and Ward LLC is asking to rezone just under an acre at 2404 East Sunshine Street to general retail from a planned development to redevelop it for commercial or retail use. A first reading and public hearing were held on an agreement among the city and the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission and TransCore ITS LLC to develop, implement, and maintain hardware and software for the city's traffic management center at a cost not to exceed $115,000.
Police say tranq has made its way to Springfield. Users say it's deadly. A woman whose longtime boyfriend recently died told the Daily Citizen that she believes their drugs had been cut with xylazine, also known as tranq. Xylazine is a powerful sedative that the FDA has only approved for veterinary use. While the number of fatal opioid overdoses in Greene County and Missouri has declined in recent years due to the availability of Narcan, police and advocates say that the illegal drugs on the streets of Springfield could be more dangerous than ever due to the introduction of a drug known as tranq. 2 weeks ago, a group of advocates and unsheltered people gathered near the railroad tracks in downtown Springfield for a memorial service and a balloon release in honor of 6 unsheltered people who recently died. The Greene County Medical Examiner's Office cannot confirm the causes of death until toxicology reports are complete, which takes around 60 days. But friends of those 6 people are convinced the deaths were likely due to overdoses. Jeff Ramage was among those who died of a suspected overdose. The 46-year-old died on September 24th. Ramage's longtime girlfriend, Alex, said she doesn't need to see a toxicology report to know what killed her man. She was with him when he overdosed and died. Alex spoke with the Daily Citizen on the condition that her last name not be used. I used it too, you know, Alex said, crying. I went straight to sleep and woke up with a tie-off still on my arm and 2 dogs on each side of me, but not my old man. He was in between the bed and coffee table face down. He had aspirated. I Narcaned him twice immediately. Narcan is the brand name of the drug naloxone, a medication used to rapidly reverse an opioid overdose. When Alex realized the Narcan wasn't working, she called 911. She said EMTs worked to save Ramage for about 45 minutes. He had already aspirated, so I don't think there was really anything they could do, she said. The EMT came out crying, saying he tried everything that modern medicine had to offer to save him. What is xylazine? Alex had been addicted to opioids for about 15 years. Ramage had been addicted for about 25 years, she said, and they both had a high tolerance level. The fact that she was immediately knocked out after taking the dope on September 24th, coupled with the fact that the Narcan didn't bring Ramage to, makes Alex believe the dope had been cut with xylazine, also known as tranq. Xylazine is a powerful sedative that the U.S. Drug and Food Administration has only approved for veterinary use. Because xylazine is not an opioid, naloxone does not reverse its effects, which puts users at a higher risk of fatal overdose. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration began warning the public a few years ago that xylazine has been increasingly identified as a cutting agent in illegal drugs and is often mixed with fentanyl, which increases risk of suffering a fatal drug poisoning. Cutting agents are substances added to drugs to either dilute them or to alter them in a way that enhances their physiological effects. Springfield Police Sergeant Jason Carter supervises SPD's narcotics unit. Carter said SPD has had some lab results come back with xylazine used as the cutting agent in fentanyl, but the department hasn't noticed a significant increase in the presence of xylazine. Carter said fentanyl has completely replaced heroin in recent years. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that is significantly more potent and dangerous than heroin, which is derived from the poppy plant. Both are opioid drugs that bind to opioid receptors in the brain, reducing pain sensations and elevating pleasure and relaxation. Now many users are mixing depressants and stimulants, usually methamphetamine and fentanyl. There's something called drug synergy. It increases the effects of both drugs. You mix them together so you get a higher high and a lower low, Carter said, and that's exceptionally dangerous. A lot of the other overdose deaths will find multiple drugs present in their toxicologies. Carter, who's been with SPD for 15 years, said these illegal drugs are cheaper now than ever. In 2015, you'd pay $200 for a gram of heroin. Now, $100 to $120 is what you'd pay for a gram of fentanyl, so prices have come down while the potency has gone up. Before releasing the white balloons on October 15th, advocates Karen Scott Hurd and Abby Dines pleaded with the crowd of unsheltered people to practice harm reduction strategies if they are using drugs. None of our people deserve to die alone, Dines said. If you are with somebody and they are overdosing, call 911. Dines and Scott Hurd explained to the crowd about Missouri's Good Samaritan law, which protects people from being charged with a crime if that person calls 911 to report an overdose. Alex, who was sitting nearby and holding a balloon for her dead boyfriend, chimed in. You don't have to tell them your name, Alex cried out. You don't have to tell them anything. You cannot get in trouble. Do not leave anybody behind. Alex warned the others about her belief that Ramaj's death was caused by drugs cut with xylazine. This trank dope is going around. You can Narcan somebody, but it's not going to save them, Alex said. You need to call 911. Dines pleaded with the group to never use behind a locked door, to use fentanyl and xylazine test strips before using, to taste the drugs before using to get an idea of how strong the product is or if it's cut with something. I'm so tired, and I know you guys are too. I am so tired of all of our family reunions being funerals, Dines said. Dead addicts can't find recovery. Dead friends don't get a second chance of sobriety. We all have to support each other.
I was terrified. Former homeless youth shares about her time on the streets of Springfield. Michaela Salkio was 17 and homeless when she came to Springfield in 2017. She spent the next 6 years on the streets, sleeping in camps, abandoned buildings, and in the tunnels that run beneath downtown Springfield. The article by Jackie Rewald. Michaela Salkil came from Stone County to Springfield in January 2017 on foot and carrying only a suitcase. She was just 17, and like most youth who run away from home, Salkil said she was escaping an abusive, volatile home life. I was terrified, she said, recalling her first few weeks of being homeless. She didn't know about the Rare Breed Youth Center or any of the resources available to unsheltered and at-risk youth. She made friends with a group of about 4 unsheltered people, whom she described as the very first people that found me. The group that ranged from teenagers to people in their 50s. For a time, an employee at a 24/7 donut shop in downtown allowed the group to sleep in the loft. She would purposefully mess up orders of donuts to feed us, Salkil said. But after that, we were sleeping in parking garages. It was January. During 6 years, Salkil was homeless. She slept in camps, abandoned buildings, and on and under porches, and in the tunnels beneath downtown Springfield. Because November is National Homeless Youth Awareness Month, Salkil met with the Daily Citizen at the Youth Connect Center to share her experiences and what she wishes the community understood about the challenges and dangers homeless youth face. The Youth Connect Center, located at 425 West McDaniel Street, is a program of Foster Adopt Connect. The YCC serves as an afternoon and evening drop-in center for unsheltered youths ages 13 through 21. 3 nights a week, it serves as an overnight shelter with 8 beds, with 2 overflow beds to be used in emergency situations. Those beds have been full since October, said the center's director, Aaron Washburn, with YCC staff having to turn homeless youth away. Washburn said the overnight shelter cannot be open 7 nights a week simply due to funding and staffing. Those other nights, the youth sleep out. They camp, they sleep in parking garages or cars. Washburn said the nights that we have shelter open are often the nights that they're getting the best rest because they have a shower and a bed and breakfast. Last night we had 10 at shelter, so we had our 8 beds full and our 2 overflow. and we turned away 6 additional youth because we didn't have beds, she said on Tuesday, November 18th. Nobody wants to turn youth away, so we really have to prioritize their age and their vulnerability and whatever's going on in their lives sometimes. The YCC is located a couple of blocks east of the Kitchen Incorporated's Rare Breed Youth Outreach Center at 301 North Main Avenue. Rare Breed also offers services, including housing programs to youth experiencing homelessness. Washburn said the 2 nonprofit centers work together to help and serve at-risk teens and young adults. Youth often spend time at Rare Breed during the day and then come to the YCC in the evenings, Washburn said. The YCC serves an average of 20 youth every night, Washburn said. That number draws from a pool of about 1,200 youth in the Springfield area who are unstably housed. We aren't serving the same youth every night. They come in when they need to come in. It's not always the same 20 kids. You're a little Spitfire, ain't you? Salkill's friends call her Spitfire, a nickname she earned back in 2017, shortly after arriving in Springfield. She recalled being on the downtown square, and a dude named Polar Bear began taunting her, teasing her about her boots. I told him if he didn't shut the expletive up, I was going to take my 5-star expletive boots and straighten the porcelain chips he kept calling teeth, she said, laughing. And he said, well, you're a little Spitfire, ain't you? And it stuck. Some stories, like how she put Polar Bear in his place that day, are fun to tell. Others, not so much. She recalled multiple accounts of being the victim of violence, sometimes at the hands of boyfriends, sometimes acquaintances who were also homeless. She's been choked, struck on the head with the butt of a crossbow, and kicked in the face and ribs. When she was 18, she became involved in a relationship with a man who turned out to be abusive. I was just a scared teenager finding safety with a man I thought was safe, she said. I was sorely mistaken. She said she's been assaulted in a public bathroom and jumped by multiple people in a parking garage. Throughout her late teens and early 20s, she racked up more than her fair share of charges, including assault, tampering with a vehicle, and resisting arrest. She figured she's been jailed dozens of times. Elders can be bad influences. Abby Dines, program manager at the YCC, has been a mentor, friend, and advocate for Salkill since they met 7 years ago when Dines was employed at Rare Breed. I'd be dead if it wasn't for her, Salkill said, nodding at Dines seated nearby. Salkill and Dines said it's common for adult unsheltered people, many of whom had lost custody of their own children years prior, to try to take on a parental-type role with youth who are experiencing homelessness. Dines, who's been working with homeless youth for nearly a decade, said she's observed the same adults doing this with her kids over and over. It's definitely unsafe, Dines said. It's very much like, well, their real parents didn't want them, so of course we're going to take care of them. But oftentimes, these adults are struggling with their own mental health issues and or supplying the youth with drugs or alcohol. This is what happened to Salkill when she arrived in Springfield. A lot of those adults that have their kids taken away because they were on drugs are filling that maternal or paternal role for their street kid, Salkill said. They're like, oh, that's my street kid. Who cares if they get high with me? That's how I started doing drugs, she continued. I smoked weed one time when I was 15, before I came to Springfield. That's it. That's literally how I started on drugs, because I had that little group of people that were my street family. They took me, and all of them were on meth. Finding sobriety. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. Salkill, who is now 26 and has been clean for 2 years, described her old self as a tabletop user. If it was on the tabletop, I'd use it. I was on everything I could get my hands on, she said. I was really, really, really bad on alcohol. I did meth longer than anything. But when I started doing fentanyl, I overdosed 14 times in a 2-year time frame. I sat in jail for 4 months. In that 4 months, I decided I was done, Salkill said. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. We always said it has to stop being fun, Dines added, recalling conversations they had about Salkill's substance abuse. And we were waiting for the day for her to wake up and be like, it's not fun anymore. Throughout the conversation, Dines repeatedly told Salkill how proud she makes Dines. I'm thankful for Spit, Dines added. Spit especially refills my bucket. She's one of the reasons I keep doing this work. Salkill moved back in with her mother in 2023. She's now engaged in counseling, and hopefully she will find an employer willing to give her a chance and look beyond her criminal past. I also don't have a high school diploma. I also am not legally allowed to drive, she said. But I like working in construction. Honestly, I do. I love it. Salkill wishes the community had better understanding and more compassion for young people who are living on the streets, in camps, or couch surfing because they have nowhere to go. They're still scared kids at the end of the day. Whether the person is able to go into the youth advocacy centers or anything like that, that is still a scared teenager out on the streets, Salkill said. I think that a lot of people have a tendency to forget that because they just keep that negative connotation of homelessness in their mind, and they remove the humanity. Instead of seeing a group of 16 or 17 or 18-year-old kids with no parents that really need help, they see a bunch of hooligans out on the street for no reason with the stigma that they're bad just because they're homeless.
Not Your Average Pets from 417 Magazine. When you think about pets, most people think about cats or dogs, maybe even hamsters or guinea pigs. Brandon Alms, senior photographer at 417, has 7 poison dart frogs. No, they're not cuddly, but they are stunning. Their upper bodies shine orange, their lower halves are vibrant blue, and they're spotted black all over. We did a lot of research, and we were really drawn to the ones we have now, Alms says. They're called Veradero poison dart frogs. Alms frogs are classified as thumbnail dart frogs, reaching only half an inch to 3/4 of an inch when full grown. Bought from a breeder in Kansas City, they're native to Peru. Originally 4, they successfully bred 3 more frogs in the past few months. They identify each one by markings on their heads and have named the original 4 Ghost, Chester, Jack, and Spot. And they're still thinking up perfect names for the babies. You might be wondering why Alms would want poisonous creatures as pets, but when bred in captivity, they have no toxins. Their diet in the wild is what gives them their poisonous toxins. Alms and his wife, Martha, never handle them, though, because of their delicate skin. The couple custom-built the vivarium the frogs live in, using animal-safe spray foam, water sealant, and paint. Alms used sanders and drills to hand-carve a natural rock background, added real plants and mosses, and installed an automatic misting system. It's a tiny piece of the rainforest right in their home.
Letter, Missouri Housing Trust Fund needs greater awareness and support, by Charlotte Stringer and Josie Crockett, Springfield. This year, our friend encouraged us to join the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, a club she was a part of. In this club, we learned that we could participate in STAR events, a statewide competition where students compete against one another with various service projects. In our project, we are advocating for a change in the Missouri Housing Trust Fund. This policy helps fund multiple housing assistance programs. However, it's severely outdated and gives insufficient funding. Nonprofits aren't given the help they need and have to rely on donations, which we want to fix. Before this project, I had never heard of the Housing Trust Fund. I believe this is part of the problem. Not many people are aware of this fund, so it's not given the proper attention. If we raise awareness, nonprofits will get the support they need. It's time we address the issues in our community. We are capable of doing so, so we should. If we want a positive community, then we need to help our people. We will not be able to help change everything for the better, but I do know that we can improve some things, like the Missouri Housing Trust Fund.
A Korean hot pot has opened at 3242 South Stewart Avenue, and it will be open noon from 9:30 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and noon to 10:30 p.m. Friday and Saturday. The restaurant combines the concepts of Korean barbecue, where guests will cook their own meat and vegetables on a tabletop grill, and hot pot, where guests cook their food in a simmering pot of broth. Both concepts allow for a highly customizable meal and a communal dining experience. Guests can choose to do Korean barbecue or hot pot, or both for an extra $5 per person for their meal. It is called K-Pot Korean Barbecue and Hot Pot. Lunch is from noon to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, and prices are $19.99 per person for adults, $7.99 for kids 4 to 6, and $11.99 for kids 7 to 10.
Winter tree care in Springfield, why fall and winter are ideal for pruning and removals. by Noel Boyer, board certified master arborist and president of All About Trees. Winter may make your lawn look quiet, but it's actually the perfect time to protect your trees and property. With leaves gone and branches fully visible, arborists can spot weak limbs and hidden hazards before spring growth begins. At All About Trees, we've spent decades helping Springfield, Nixa, and Ozark homeowners keep their trees healthier, safer, and more beautiful, even in the cold months. Here's why fall and winter are ideal for tree pruning and removal, and what signs you should watch for. When dormant season pruning works best. Pruning while trees are dormant allows for precise cuts with minimal stress. Here's why homeowners see the biggest benefits in fall and winter. You see hidden weaknesses clearly, encourage safe, balanced growth, reduce pest and disease risk, and minimal impact on your property. Winter is an ideal time for removing sick, damaged, or hazardous trees. With no leaves to navigate and less material to handle, arborists can work more efficiently. Frozen or dry ground reduces the risk of equipment damage, helping protect your landscape. Removing problem trees now helps protect your property from potential storm damage.
Thank you for listening to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service. Tune in every Monday through Friday on the Blind Community Thrift Store's YouTube channel at 10 a.m. for more up-to-date news from the Springfield News-Leader, Springfield Daily Citizen, Springfield Business Journal, and 417 Magazine. Listen after we are live on the Audio Reader Network at www.reader.ku.edu. All broadcasts are played over KSMU's subcarrier airwaves at 67 kilohertz on 91.1 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Contact Audio Reader Network for information on receiving a pre-programmed radio. Thank you.